All right, so you mentioned it. Carson Hocevar runs into the back of Ryan Blaney, spins him out. Had angered Kyle Busch at one point in the race. Had angered Ross Chastain, which Ross's was probably the least egregious in that, Ross probably thought he was going to push him and go with him, and Carson just dove to the inside and said goodbye and got him into turn one and took the track position. And then at the end of the race, he pushed the 20, which I was like, I didn't know what he was going to do because he had that huge run down the backstretch. And I'm like, where does he go with this? Does he shoot to the bottom? Could be blocked by Larson. Does he, where does he, or does he try to time it to shoot to the top of the 20? And he just chose to run in the back of the 20, pushing him way out. And then that allowed him still to get to the center, which effectively didn't push the 5, of course. And I'm sure maybe that's where Larson was a little upset in that sense. But I'll be honest. I think apart from spinning out Ryan Blaney, which was just an ill-timed, overzealous bump, nothing else I saw was a problem whatsoever at all. And
I don't think so either.
I liked his quote afterwards. He said, "We're not trying to be boy band and love each other. I'm here to race." And I was like, damn, I like that.
Everybody's trying to, everybody always tries to find new ways to say we brought our own friends to the racetrack.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I don't know. If you're a fan, just sit back and enjoy the show. That's all I gotta say. Just enjoy the show. I think when I tweeted after that race, I couldn't have said any better.
What'd you say?
We could pick apart every single move that he makes, and and go, oh yeah, that was too aggressive, or he shouldn't have done that. I don't know. That's part of being. How old is he? 22 in the Cup Series.
Yeah,
in a fast car. Just let him do it.
What was your tweet again? Just say your tweet.
I think I said it's funny to me to see all these veteran drivers complain about a rookie being too aggressive. I'm sorry. It's so funny to see a bunch of veteran drivers pissed at a young and aggressive rookie going for his first win, a tale as old as time. I love it.
It is. It's literally
literally Kyle Busch and Ross Chastain trying to sun Carson Hocevar for being too aggressive. Love you, Ross. But
let us tell you here how this goes, son.
I'm pretty sure 2 years ago we were at Atlanta having the same conversation about Ross.
100%. We were. And you know what the funny thing is?
He was driving like a madman, running into everybody, splitting the middle 3 wide.
Someone's got to control that boy.
And that's the funny thing is those guys are just frustrated, and they're frustrated over how it affected their own races. But isn't splitting Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell 3 wide on the white flag to win at Atlanta in a Cup car at age 21 the dream?
Yep. Yeah. That's what you wanted to do.
So if you're Ross Chastain and you're mad that he didn't push you past Christopher Bell first, that he split you in the middle and went for it, it's like, okay.
I agree.
Now on a and this is where all the seriousness of the business just ruins the fun. At a corporate level, I'm sure that Carson's got some serious talking to from Chevrolet, because those Chevys did not work as a team.
Nope.
None of them.
Nope.
And I'm sure he didn't help that, right? Sometimes all it takes is one to sort of break the rules, and then everybody else, they throw it out the window.
Yep.
But there was no team atmosphere among the Chevys.
Nope.
In the closing stages of that race.
Harvick pointed it out well when he was like, the Fords, when they get to the front, they work really hard to help each other stay there. But when the Chevys were there, they were just slingshotting each other constantly.
Oh, yeah.
And constantly just being like, oh, you gave a little bit of opening to the dog leg. I'm taking it. See you later. It was like they were not working together whatsoever. And then, of course, Carson went for it and didn't push the 5. And I hope, I know Spire is basically like a Hendrick B team, essentially. But I'm sure he'll get talked to, and I'm sure there'll be people being like, where the bread is buttered and blah, blah, blah. But
yeah,
I'm like, damn it, it's cool, though. It's like, to your point, it's cool to see. Yeah, and I just hate that stuff so much. I can't stand it.
That's a Chevy problem. That's not a Spire problem. That's not a Carson problem. That's a Chevy problem.
Yeah.
Because Hendrick, Hendrick has a hard enough time getting their 4 drivers to want to work with each other. And so it's like, and then, there's just a little bit different dynamic there between that manufacturer and then how Ford communicates with their guys and gets their guys on the same board and to work together. And here we are talking about Ford, but it's like, it's really, those 2 Penske cars.
Yeah, it was a couple Penske's. Yep. The 4.
So, I mean,
between the 21, the 2, the 12.
Or 4, yeah.
The 22. Yeah, I mean, I think it was maybe more Team Penske, to your point, than it was Ford particularly. Although you had Todd Gilliland up there for a while, and he was kind of working well with the Team Penske cars. So I'd say that they do a little bit better job.
Alliance?
What's that?
Is FRM not a Penske alliance?
They were. They must still be. Yeah, they did.
Or no, are they back at RFK? I can't remember.
No, I think they're still the Penske one because they went to that last year. They announced that before Michael left.
How much we know.
I'll Google it and see what I can find.
I know. Wow, we should actually know this. I can't remember. I think they are still kind of an alliance. Anyway, putting that aside, I just think to your point, the Chevys obviously didn't, and it's just going to be unfortunate because it's the same thing with Brett Sloth at Daytona last year when he pushed Harrison Burton. It's like, well, and I've said this many times. I'm like, last I checked, and I don't know his particular situation, but it wasn't particularly just Chevy that got Carson to that Cup car, right? And I'm like, until you are the only reason or the reason that he's in that car, I don't want to hear it. And I said the same thing to Retzloff. I said, I don't think Chevy put you in that Cup car at Daytona. They didn't.
I know. That's tough, though, because Chevy, because of where the manufacturers have gone in this sport, the direction the sport has gone.
Yep.
The teams have so much less leverage over information and technology than they used to.
Yeah.
It is the manufacturers are the final boss.
They are.
And so they don't have to be the ones paying for the drivers anymore to have any leverage over it. It's like they have
information.
It's
Basically.
all the information. And so they have the ability to approve drivers and withhold information depending on, whether they are on board with the direction of that team or not. That's the hard part about this.
According to NASCAR.com, front row is with and now I'm getting conflicting Roush Fenway or Penske. So sorry, there's one report that says that NASCAR still says Roush Fenway. So
great reporting from the field there,
wow.
Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
I'm sorry.
That really cleared it up. Thank you. Come to the money lab.
you,
most
NBC Sports
facts.
updated NBC Sports Team Penske. They're a Penske Alliance.
There we go.
I had a quick question though.
Go.
For you guys both. When is Carson allowed to win a race? Is my question. Because if that caution doesn't come out, well, that's a different story. I still see the win being between 2 Chevy drivers because Bell was fading on the outside.
I don't know. The top one in the 3-wide finish last spring. So I wouldn't say that by any means. I mean, it's a good question. When are you allowed to actually just try and win? And what are you willing to do to try and win? I think you're allowed at any time. I think it's just you have to measure what are you willing to do. And it means spinning out 5 people or whatever, which you didn't do. But if you did do that, you better win and be able to be like, well, I got us in there, so we'll deal with the rest later. I think the other side of that, the other thing they might say is we'll just be faster than everyone else and you win the race. You don't have to worry about that, right? He does have a history of ruffling feathers. I've had a run-in with him before in the trucks. I was quite upset with him. And he does that, but it's also kind of what makes him good, and it's what has made him become the leader of that Spire team in some respects.
Well, and you'll kind of hear me say the same thing I've said about other drivers, and basically to me the rule for all of this is, hey, go ahead, do your thing, drive like that. You just got to win.
Yep. Yeah.
If you're doing it and winning, then it's not a lot of people can say.
Wasn't Ross doing that? And people still had things to say?
Well,
I mean, they do, but he was winning. What did it matter?
Yeah, didn't matter.
Now
if he was doing it now and not winning, that's a problem.
Right.
That's a big problem. So, I'm of the personally, I feel like there's no one that's going to look out for you like yourself in this deal.
That's right.
And you have to look out for yourself. You have to be selfish to your core if you want to cement your place in the top echelon of this motorsport. series. And in really any motorsport, you have to fight like hell, and you have to be selfish and not care what others think, because really the second you're not performing but you're clean, that ain't gonna mean shit. If you're not performing and you're clean, it doesn't mean shit. If you're winning and it takes a lot of ruffled feathers and wrecked cars to do it, that's all that matters. So find a way to win.